What are we doing?
Turn around.
Okay, I'm gonna take the team. I'm gonna take the team.
That doesn't change anything. You still are going to be arrested.
For what? You don't have any proof on me.
No, ma'am, I do. Okay.
A few days ago, GloRilla was arrested after the feds allegedly found marijuana in her house. Now word is she just got stabbed in prison, and things are getting even messier. A lot of people are pointing fingers at certain industry figures who might have set her up. Let me break down how this whole thing exploded. From Memphis Queen to jail cell, GloRilla is all over the headlines right now. The internet's buzzing with reports that she just got stabbed in prison. But before we dive into that madness, we need to talk about how she ended up behind bars in the first place. So check it out. It's Saturday night, July 20th, 2025, and our girl Gloria Hallelujah Woods, that's GloRilla's government name for those who don't know, is out here living her best life performing at the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis. She's getting that bag, the crowd is going absolutely brazy, and everything is looking sweet in her world. She's riding high off that glorious album success, sitting pretty at number 5 on the Billboard 200, and her career is looking like straight fire. But yo, while she's out there securing the bag and entertaining thousands of fans, some absolute grimy individuals decided to run up on her crib in Georgia. And let me tell you, what happened next is some of the most backwards, upside down, completely wild stuff you're ever going to hear in your life. Picture this. It's about 1:30 in the morning, and some straight up thugs decided to run a home invasion on GloRilla's spot. Now here's where it gets absolutely insane. These clowns broke into the house, but they didn't know somebody was strapped and ready. Shots got fired, and these cowards took off running like the weak-ass punks they are. Now, GloRilla wasn't even at the crib when this went down. She was out handling her business, getting that money like a real boss should. The burglars dipped out, nobody got hurt, and you would think the police would be focused on catching these street rats who just violated somebody's home, right? Wrong. Here's where this story takes a turn that's going to have y'all absolutely heated and questioning everything about how these badges operate in the hood, instead of putting all their energy into catching these dangerous criminals who just terrorized an innocent family. Guess what the police decided to focus on? Y'all, I'm not even playing when I tell you this next part is going to blow your mind. The police rolled up with the K9 units and drones, which sounds like they're really trying to catch these criminals, right? But now, fam, they smelled some herb and suddenly their whole priority shifted. These officers detected a strong odor consistent with illegal narcotic, and just like that, they forgot all about the armed burglars who just committed a violent felony. Instead, they're out here playing Nancy Drew over some weed, while the real criminals are probably already planning their next lick. This is some straight up backwards policing that has got everyone from the streets to the suburbs absolutely heated. They got a whole drug task force involved and secured a search warrant. All this energy and resources for some marijuana, while dangerous stick-up kids are running loose in the community. And here's the part that's going to have you ready to throw something at your screen. They found some trees in her bedroom closet and decided that was more important than catching the goons who just violated someone's home with weapons. Fast forward to Tuesday, July 22nd. This is when our girl's legal nightmare officially kicked off.
GloRilla was later charged with felony possession of marijuana and possession of Schedule I controlled substance. She turned herself in voluntarily at the Forsyth County Jail on Tuesday and
That's when everything changed. Her landing in jail is what kicked off the rumors. Word started spreading fast, people saying she got stabbed inside. And apparently that joint is wild. Forsyth County Jail isn't just any lockup. It's a high-stress, overcrowded facility where tensions run deep. Inmates are packed in with barely any breathing room, and visits are limited. Fights pop off over the smallest things, and officers are often stretched too thin to stop them. Some inmates are even forced into labor, doing things like cleaning animal shelters just to pass time. In a place like that, anything can pop off at any moment. That's exactly why people were mad she even had to turn herself in, because they knew she'd be walking into a mess she didn't create. Now let's talk about just how wild this situation really is. Now let me break down just how absolutely wild this whole situation is. We got a successful Grammy-nominated artist who becomes the victim of a violent crime. Her people get terrorized by some street thugs. Shots get fired in self-defense, and somehow she's the only one who ends up in handcuffs. Meanwhile, the actual criminals who committed armed robbery are still out here free to run up on the next family. But this ain't GloRilla's first dance with Georgia law enforcement, and that's something we need to keep it 100 about. Back in April 2024, she caught a DUI charge in Gwinnett County, which shows these folks have been watching her moves for a minute. Her legal team came out swinging hard, and they didn't hold back nothing. The lawyers straight up said this arrest shows how twisted law enforcement priorities have become. They laid out the facts, and it's some real talk that everybody needs to hear.
Ms. Woods was out of town when her residence became a target for a group of home invaders who most likely knew she wasn't there. What they didn't know was she had family staying with her that were traumatized by the violent entrance of this group, who grabbed high-value jewelry before taking off once they realized the home wasn't vacant.
But yo, this arrest is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to all the drama and chaos that's been following GloRilla since she started making moves in the game. The road from the block to the top has been nothing but obstacles, beef, and straight up haters trying to bring her down. The streets don't love you back. Drama, beef, and hood politics. All right, y'all, now that we've broken down how the system did our girl dirty with this bogus arrest, it's time to dive deep into all the street drama and industry politics that's been surrounding GloRilla since she first stepped into the spotlight. Because let me tell you, this latest legal mess didn't just pop off out of nowhere. It's part of a whole pattern of people trying to tear down a young black woman who's making moves. First, let's keep it 100 about her previous run-in with the law, because understanding how these police been moving is crucial to seeing the bigger picture. That April 2024 DUI situation wasn't just some random traffic stop. It was a whole situation that showed exactly how law enforcement treats successful young black artists. Picture this, it's 4 a.m. in Gwinnett County, and GloRilla gets pulled over for making a U-turn at a red light. Now on the surface, that's some regular traffic violation type stuff, right? But what went down after that shows you exactly how these badges operate when they smell money and success on a young person from the hood. The officer claimed her whip smelled like liquor and herb. She didn't ace the field sobriety test, and she wasn't trying to blow in their little machine. What's really wild is how this situation mirrors what just happened. Police focusing on drug-related charges even when there's bigger fish to fry. But yo, the legal drama goes way deeper than just these police encounters. GloRilla's been dealing with some serious industry politics and business beef that would break most people. The biggest mess involves her relationship with Hit Kid, the producer who made the beat for FNF Let's Go, the track that put her on the map.
GloRilla is talking about the FNF song and how she hasn't made any money from that song. This is all in response to Hit Kid, who is publicly claiming that there could be a potential legal battle on the way.
This ain't just some simple disagreement between artists. This is a full-blown legal war over who really owns one of the hottest tracks in recent memory. Back in October 2022, Hit Kid came out swinging, claiming GloRilla and CMG Records tried to snake the ownership rights without telling him. The accusations were straight disrespectful and painted a picture of a young artist caught up in some serious industry games. Hit Kid didn't hold back. I told you and your manager every day that we was in LA with Sweetie that labels are gonna try to sign you because of FNF, so watch out. I also told you to let me know when labels reach out so we can be on the same page, but you still went and signed my song without telling me.
Done made so much money from FNF and I haven't made not one red cent other than shows, but I'm still prospering because guess what? I can rap in real life and ain't no MF one-hit wonder. I wrote every single lyric in every single song I ever put out.
GloRilla's response hit different and showed exactly what kind of pressure she was under. The fact that she said she didn't make no money from her biggest hit except from performing is absolutely wild and shows how these industry vultures really move when they smell fresh talent from the hood. But the business drama is just part of the chaos that's been following her rise to the top. The street's been watching her every move, and some of the controversies have been straight up manufactured drama designed to tear her down. One situation that really showed her character was when she caught heat in August 2024 for using the R word in a song snippet on social media. Instead of acting stubborn or ignoring the criticism, she actually changed the lyrics to "Me and my BH got naughty" after people called her out. That move showed she's not just another rapper who doesn't care about her impact. She actually listens to her people and makes changes when needed, which makes it even more messed up that she's being treated like some hardened criminal when she's really trying to do right by her community. The drama didn't stop there though. The church folks came for her neck when her Glorious album included Rain Down on Me with some gospel heavy hitters like Kirk Franklin and Maverick City Music. The gospel community was split down the middle, with some people feeling like she was crossing lines by mixing sacred and street music. The criticism got real spicy, with folks saying stuff like, "These Christian gospel artists need to stop compromising. It's plenty of ways to reach souls." Kirk Franklin, Kiara Sheard, and Maverick City Music being on GloRilla's album is wild. But her supporters kept it 100 and reminded everyone where she came from. People in the church mad because Glo made a song fit Kirk and Maverick City, and from my simple Google search, Glo grew up in the church, served in the church, and was in her church choir. This whole situation showed how hard it is for artists from the hood to navigate between staying true to their roots and expressing their current reality. She's trying to honor where she came from while also being real about where she's at now, but people want to put her in a box. But the most painful drama has been the mess with her day one homegirl Gloss Up. This situation really shows how success can mess up even the tightest friendships from the block. The tensions between GloRilla and Gloss Up have been playing out publicly, with accusations flying that have divided their fan bases and created a whole mess.
What's going on, Entertainment? So today I'm coming to y'all with another video. So in this video, you guys, we're talking GloRilla and Gloss. You guys all know they're coming up together, and it seems like recently, you guys, some of her team is not really too much feeling Gloss.
The situation got real messy when people in GloRilla's camp started claiming that Gloss Up was feeding information to JT about GloRilla's business. The accusations included claims about snitching and betrayal that cut deep because these were supposed to be day ones who came up together. These kinds of personal conflicts hit different when you're dealing with fame and money. When you're fighting legal battles, business disputes, and public controversies, the last thing you need is your own people turning on you. But that's the reality of the game. Success changes everything, even your closest relationships. The research also shows that GloRilla's been dealing with some straight up wild conspiracy theories and personal attacks. In 2022, some people started spreading rumors about her gender identity based on a viral video, which is the kind of disrespectful mess that successful black women have to deal with constantly. These attacks on her identity show exactly what happens when young black women from the hood start making serious moves. It's not enough to criticize her music or business decisions. They come for her entire existence and try to tear down her identity.
I think they did say, now this is according to Kadeem Phillips, the founder of Power Entertainment, who broke down the deal with GloRilla and Hit Kid.
All these business disputes, personal betrayals, and public attacks create a picture of someone dealing with pressure from every direction. When you're fighting felony charges, industry vultures, fake friends, and online trolls all at the same time, it's amazing that anyone could keep their sanity, let alone maintain a successful career. But what makes all this even more frustrating is how these controversies seem to be building towards something bigger, like there's a coordinated effort to tear down her success. The latest arrest, coming after all these other challenges, feels less like bad luck and more like the system trying to break someone who refuses to stay in their place. The fact that she's been able to navigate all this drama while still dropping hit records and selling out shows proves she's got that real street resilience. But it also shows exactly what successful young black women from the hood have to deal with when they start making moves in industries that weren't built for them. The streets versus the system, when success becomes your enemy. It's time to break down what all this really means for our culture and what it reveals about how the system really operates when young black success starts making noise. Because what's happening to GloRilla ain't just about one artist. This is about a whole pattern that affects every young person from the hood trying to level up their situation.
If they ain't trying to steal, they trying to put a case on you, man. They trying to put a case on you. Instead of them looking for the suspects, then the suspects are long gone. I can guarantee you they haven't devoted any resources into trying to find out who actually robbed her.
Now let's talk about GloRilla's response to this whole backward situation, because her words hit harder than any lawyer's statement ever could. On July 24th, 2025, she broke her silence and came with that unfiltered street truth that had everyone nodding their heads like, exactly. My house got home invaded Saturday while I was in Indianapolis performing for the WNBA All-Star Game, and instead of focusing on finding the suspects, they focus on some cannabis. This right here is that real talk that cuts through all the legal jargon and political correctness to show you what's really happening. But she didn't stop there. Her follow-up was even more powerful. Long story short, my house gets home invaded and I'm the only one that gets arrested. The simplicity of that statement is what makes it so devastating. It perfectly captures how completely upside down this whole system has become.
Yeah, every now and then there are real crimes that happen. Well, not every now and then, but there are real crimes that happen. Let me see you run out there and go arrest the bad guy.
Let's keep it 100 about what this case really exposes about how the system treats successful young black women who come from nothing and build something. Hip-hop artists have always been under the microscope, but GloRilla's situation shows a level of disrespect and targeting that's honestly scary to witness. Think about the timeline. She wasn't even in the state when these armed goons invaded her home. She was working a legitimate gig at a family event, and she was the victim of a violent felony. Yet somehow she's facing more serious legal consequences than the actual criminals who terrorized her family with weapons. If that doesn't wake you up to how rigged this game is, nothing will. The response from the community has been overwhelming, and it needed to be. Even politicians like Georgia state lawmaker Rep. Ruwa Rahman stepped up and called for the charges to be dropped, pointing out how absolutely backwards it is to focus on minor drug possession when armed robbers just violated someone's home.
I never want nobody to have that much power over me where I can't eat.
Yeah.
No.
But what's really impressive is watching how GloRilla has handled all this pressure while still maintaining her grind. The research shows shows that her Glow Bash performance in Memphis went on as scheduled just days after her arrest, showing that real street mentality, no matter what they throw at you, the hustle never stops. This is about more than just one artist's legal troubles. This is about the systematic targeting of young black success. Every time someone from the hood makes it out and starts building something real, the system finds a way to try to tear it down. Whether it's through legal harassment, business interference, or straight up criminalization, the pattern is always the same. Let's talk about the financial warfare aspect of this situation, because these legal troubles ain't just threatening her freedom, they're coming for her bag too. GloRilla's been building a serious touring empire, with major shows lined up including the Glorious Tour, starting in March 2026. Felony charges could destroy these opportunities and cost her millions in legitimate income.
So what is net worth exactly calculated off of? What you done bought?
No, so your net worth means like what is your assets minus your liabilities.
Shit, I need a pencil and paper for that, huh?
This hits even harder when you remember that she's already been fighting legal battles over her biggest hit, FNF, and the money from it, meaning she's been scrapping to secure her financial future while simultaneously dealing with charges that could wipe it all out. The broader implications for hip-hop culture are absolutely terrifying. If successful artists can get locked up just for being victims of crimes, what message does that send to every young person in the hood with dreams? How many talented kids are going to give up on their aspirations when they see how the system treats even the most successful artists?
You disguise yourself in some crazy way, or?
When I do go, I always have a bun and my glasses on, and sometimes I wear a mask.
But here's what makes GloRilla's story so inspiring. Despite all the chaos, through all the drama, legal troubles, and systematic targeting, she's maintained her authenticity and her connection to her community. The research shows that she's continued giving back to Memphis schools and supporting her people, proving that success hasn't changed her heart or made her forget where she came from. This commitment to uplifting her community makes her current legal situation even more insulting. Here's someone using her platform and resources to make a positive impact on young people's lives, yet she's being treated like a menace to society by the very system that should be protecting her. The research also reveals the incredible complexity of navigating success when you come. What's really disturbing is how all these different attacks seem coordinated to break someone down systematically. Legal battles drain your finances and mental energy. Public controversies destroy your reputation and brand value. Business disputes threaten your income streams. Personal betrayals isolate you from your support system. When you stack all these pressures together, it creates a perfect storm designed to destroy even the strongest person. But GloRilla hasn't just survived these coordinated attacks. She's found ways to thrive despite them. Her Glorious album peaked at number 5 on the Billboard 200, proving she's got the talent, determination, and street intelligence to succeed even when everything is working against her. Let's break down what this case means for criminal justice reform, because GloRilla's situation is a textbook example of everything wrong with how our system operates. The fact that the investigation into the actual burglary is still ongoing with no arrests made, while the victim faces serious felony charges, shows you exactly how backwards these priorities have become.
This would have been a much better story if they had said, and the police caught up with 3 bad guys and they arrested them, not the damn homeowner. But that's too much like right. Way too much like right.
This case has become a rallying point for everyone fighting for real justice reform. When police departments spend time, money, and resources getting search warrants for marijuana possession, while armed robbers who terrorized a family remain free, something is fundamentally broken in how we approach public safety. The ripple effects of this situation extend far beyond GloRilla herself. Other artists are watching and learning that success doesn't shield you from systematic targeting. Fans are becoming more aware of the institutional issues that affect their favorite artists. Legal experts are pointing to this case as a perfect example of why comprehensive reform is urgently needed. What's particularly significant is how GloRilla has used her platform to highlight these broader systemic issues. Her social media responses weren't just about her personal legal troubles. They were about exposing problems that affect entire communities across the country.
I feel like in certain parts of the world it is.
But not in America?
I mean, I feel like it's some in America, not the one. I feel like the ones I like is none.
Looking toward the future, this case has the potential to become a landmark example in the fight for systematic change. The combination of a high-profile victim, clear injustice, widespread public support, and political involvement creates the perfect conditions for meaningful reform. Legal scholars and civil rights activists will likely study this case for years as an example of victim criminalization and misplaced law enforcement priorities. The hip-hop community has rallied around her not just because she makes incredible music, but because her fight represents everyone's fight for for justice, dignity, and the right to succeed without being criminalized for it. When the system fails one of us, it ultimately fails all of us, and GloRilla's case has become a powerful reminder of that fundamental truth. As this story continues to develop, one thing has become crystal clear. GloRilla has transformed from just another successful rapper into a symbol of resistance against institutional injustice. The legal troubles that were probably intended to break her spirit and silence her voice have instead given her an even more powerful platform to speak truth to power and demand systemic change. The final outcome of her legal case will be watched closely by millions of people who see their own struggles reflected in her story. Whether true justice ultimately prevails will speak volumes about what kind of society we want to be, and whether we're genuinely committed to the principles of fairness and equality that we claim to value. This situation is bigger than hip-hop, bigger than one artist, and bigger than one legal case. This is fundamentally about whether young Black people from disadvantaged backgrounds can achieve legitimate success without being systematically criminalized for it. And that's a fight that affects all of us, regardless of where we come from or what we look like. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.